Hi guys, I'm Georgia.
I'm Lauren.
And this is our first ever couch talk. Okay, let's get started. Okay, Lauren, so I'm sure many of your followers already know who you are and like what you're going through, but would you be able to like tell everybody else who's new here, like who you are and your journey?
Oh God, where do I start? Obviously, everyone knows I'm Lauren. I'm 26 now. I'm getting old.
Stop it.
26 years old. I had a healthy childhood, health-wise. Got to 10, got diagnosed with diabetes. Got to 15, started displaying
Well, like
not symptoms. It's not symptoms, but
side effects,
signs of bulimia. Got to 24 and was diagnosed with kidney disease. In between that, I got anemia, something called gastroparesis. I've had blood vessels burst at the back of my eye. I've had hypertension. I've now got something called hypertensive heart disease. So the whole journey has been very bumpy. But that's the reason why I called my Instagram page My Transplant Journey, because it's been the journey that's led me up to needing a transplant. Like everything that's happened has led me to this point. And as bad as it is, and I wouldn't want to go through it again, it's made me who I am now. So silver linings, and I'm grateful. It's shown me a lot about life, and health is wealth. Don't take it for granted. You actually only have one life and you have one body, and the better you take care of it, the better your life will be.
So would you say from a young age you wasn't like to get diagnosed with diabetes? Would you say you wasn't taking care of your body then?
No, I wasn't.
No.
I mean, when my mum, obviously I got it at 10, so really my mum like took the reins of everything, like the diet, making sure I took my insulin, making sure I check my blood sugars. She controlled it. But as I got older, like when I got to about maybe 14, 15, and she was like, you need to take the responsibility now. I took that as, yeah, I'm gonna run wild. Like, I'm free now, so I just do as I please when I please. I just wanted to be like everyone else. I didn't want to have diabetes. I didn't want to worry about it, so I didn't. I kind of acted like I never had it. Like, if you looked at me, you never know that I had diabetes. So it was easier to hide. But I did tell people because I knew that if I became unwell or I fainted or something, it could be because of the diabetes. So people needed to know. But generally, I didn't take good care of myself at all. Okay,
so although you said the reason why you called your Instagram your journey is because that's what led you up to now and stuff. So if you could go back in time, like even taking in consideration of the person that you are today, if you could go back in time, would you change everything?
I would change absolutely everything. I would have done everything the right way. I would have listened. I would have taken it more seriously, because diabetes is like a silent killer. Like, they tell you stuff like, oh, it could affect your kidneys and it could affect your eyes, and if you get a cut, you can have like a limb amputated, etc. Even when I was in hospital one time, they were like, you're not taking this seriously. So they showed me to a man who got a cut on his foot, who had really bad controlled blood sugars, and his foot turned black, and they were going to use the maggot treatment to for the maggots to eat away at the flesh, and that still didn't scare me enough.
Wow.
Like, in my head, I thought I was invincible. Like, it's like, this can't happen to me. Like, I'm gonna be fine. So I would definitely go back and do things the right way and get better care of myself, because now, even when I have a transplant, I'll always be a diabetic and kidney patient.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that follow you as well, I'm sure they could agree that they quite admire you because you're so strong. So would you say that you are a Christian? Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I believe in God.
Would you say that there were times that perhaps it rocked your faith going through all this?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to say, like, kind of your journey with that as well?
I think it was just one thing after another. Like, throughout my life, it's always been one thing after another. Like, I've overcome one battle and something else happens, and it just keeps happening. Like, okay, I got diabetes, and then, like, even taking out the bulimia, the kidney disease. Okay, I've got kidney disease. I was in hospital for 6 weeks. I got a urine infection, started hallucinating. I came out of hospital for a week, ended up in intensive care. The blood vessels in my eyes burst. I couldn't see. I was overloaded in fluid and ended up getting, my brain was swelling up. It was just always something. So I was just like, why does this keep happening to me? And although I don't want it to happen to anyone else, I'm like, I don't see anyone else around me suffering health-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even when coronavirus came out, I was like, there's no way God is going to let me get this, because I've been through too much already.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it. So I started questioning him, like, why? Like, why me? With everything I've already been through in my life, why me? And I've come to the conclusion that this is my purpose, and it's teaching me a lesson that I can teach to other people. But I still don't think I've figured out exactly what lesson I'm supposed to be learning and how I can teach other people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a purpose for it all. It's just figuring it out.
Amazing. So with your whole journey and everything, would you say that you've perhaps made new friends or perhaps even lost some friends due to the whole journey?
I've definitely made new friends. There's a couple of young people that go to dialysis. Jamal, Albert, Michael, Alana, Jade. Mainly, like, and there's an older woman called Valerie, but there's mainly like a few young people.
Mm-hmm.
We recently lost someone that we were going to dialysis with. She got coronavirus, and it was Nazareth, and she died. So that was like, I had already had it by then, but obviously that's like seeing it firsthand, that someone with underlying issues, it does affect them really badly, and not everyone is as lucky. But it's nice to have people that actually understand what you're going through. Like, I've met a lot of people, not met them, but like spoken to them via Insta DMs about, you know, that like I'll post something and be like, I didn't know anyone else was going through this, and thank you for sharing. It's nice to know that I'm not the only one, and that's really nice. Like, you bond over your struggle, and you can give each other advice on how you cope with it, because it sounds really like selfish and ungrateful, but it's annoying when people say, oh, I know exactly how you feel. You don't know how I feel because you don't have this. Like, you can sympathize, but you can't relate to this particular situation because you don't have it. Or when people say, oh, well, it could be worse. Now you're invalidating my struggle because I don't have something as bad as cancer or like a terminal illness and I'm gonna die. What I'm going through is bad enough. I don't need you to tell me it could be worse. I know it could be worse, but this is worse for me. And I don't like when people do that.
Yeah, I completely.
It's an unnecessary comment.
Yeah. Just people. I think people just always want to be involved with something. They always have something to say.
Yeah.
Like sometimes just be quiet and listen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I understand that. So how about with friends that you've had before? Have you like maybe lost people? Because I understand like with going to dialysis and stuff, you probably miss out on a few things, or perhaps there's things that you can't do anymore that you probably could before. Have you lost any friends because that?
There's a few people I had in my life that I don't have anymore, and I don't know that it's because of what I'm going through or the fact that everyone's on their own journey and everyone's doing their own thing, and sometimes you outgrow people. Like, I'm in this position and you're in this position and it's just not compatible anymore. There's no love lost there. We've just gone like separate ways, and that's it really. Like in terms of like going out with friends and stuff, the only really thing I can't do is like going out and do heavy drinking, which I never did anyway. So that doesn't really bother me. Like I go out, have a few drinks and that's enough for me. But the main thing is going on holiday. Like they say you can travel and do dialysis in another country, but I wouldn't be comfortable with that anyway. And then when you come back, you've got to be in isolation. I think it's either 2 weeks or 12 weeks. I can't remember how long it is. But
what, for dialysis?
Yeah, it's just I just can't be bothered. So that's the one thing that I really, really want to do, is go on holiday with my friends and my family. But definitely when I have my transplant, everything's settled down, I'm planning a big trip.
Yeah.
You're invited.
Oh, thanks, babe. Thanks. Just waiting for my invite. Okay, and that brings me on to as well, like with your family and stuff. So of course, you know, you have your own struggle with this, and you watch your family struggle with it as well. How is that for you? Kind of like, you know, this is you're going through it, but you can also see your family going through it as well. Like, how do you cope with that? Like, how is that process for you?
It's hard, like especially seeing like like my mum and dad, like when they come to the hospital and they're just so worried. Like they don't know what's gonna happen, whether I'm gonna be okay, am I actually gonna come out of the hospital this time. Like day-to-day life, like I'll be having a good run and then I'll get really sick and be in bed all day, and then I'll be fine. Like I don't like putting my family through it, because it like, especially when I'm in hospital and everyone's got to take time out of their day to come and see me, and I appreciate it so much. But again, I don't really want, like, this is my journey. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to deal with this like every day. Like it's an everyday thing. It doesn't stop. It's 24/7 all the time. Like I don't get a break from this. I try and have a smile on my face all the time because I don't want people to worry. But that gets draining, because some days I just want to be like, no, I'm tired, leave me alone. I don't want to do this anymore. And the last thing I want to hear is, oh, but you have to keep going. No, let me have my day. And I'll bounce back. I always do. But sometimes you just need that time to feel sorry for yourself, because it's not easy. It's draining. Like the whole process is draining. And I can only imagine what it's like for my family to sit and watch someone they care about struggle and suffer. So, what is it like?
For me?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the first thing? Oh, cool. Yeah, no, you say for me, as your cousin, I think it's hard to see anybody struggling. It's hard to see, especially a family member that you're close with. It's hard to see anyone struggle. But you know, most of it is just I feel guilty that I can't do enough for you. I feel sad that you have to go through it full stop. And you know, I try to do my part where I can. Do you know what I mean? Whether that is trying to visit you in hospital and bring you things, or like whether that's just coming here or giving you company. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't feel like there's anything I can do enough. And especially when you first got like diagnosed and stuff, because my mum told me and stuff, I just didn't know what to say. Most of it is like how you said, I don't understand. Like I can't say, oh, I completely understand, because I don't. I've not been through it. Even when people answer me, like I still can't say that. Even though you're my cousin, I can't say, oh yeah, no, I know how it feels, because it's not me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just feel like how a majority of it, I feel like however I feel is invalid. I feel like my whole input in it is invalid, because I feel like this is your journey, this is what you're going through, and I'm grateful that you have people there, like that you meet in the hospital, that's going to be the same thing as you, and you can come together and be there for each other. And it's like, in a way for you, it's probably like, you know, it's not just me in a kind of sense. So yeah, so like for me, it's awful to see that you have to go through so much, especially how you say, you know, it's one thing after the other. Oh my gosh, like my mum would just be like talking to her own sister, sis, what? Do you know what I mean? Then later on she'll be like, Lauren's back in hospital. I'm like, again? You know, it's so much. And I just feel so like guilty, like sad, like there's nothing that like I can physically do to help you. Know, there was, I would, you know what I mean? We all was like, yeah, I'm ready to give away my kidneys. Do you know what I mean? It was all like lining up for that. Do you know what I mean? So you know, there's that. But you know, by the grace of God, I pray for you every day. I think of you every day. Well, not every day, but most of the time.
You bully me every day.
It's all love. I pray for you every day, and I know that you're gonna pull through. I know you're going to pull through. I have no doubt in my mind. You've been through too much now to not. Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like it's coming, you know, it's coming, and you know, God is good. And yeah, so it's hard, but nowhere as hard as what you are actually going through. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, do you have anything to say to people that perhaps is going through the same thing, or even like they're not there, and like maybe kids on like, you know how you said you wasn't, before you were 10, you wasn't looking after yourself. Do you have anything to say to like parents as well?
I would just say the main thing is just take care of yourself. Like I said before, you've got one body and you have to take care of it, because once it starts to break down, the doctors can only do so much with like offering transplants, etc. But transplants don't last forever. Because I'm so young, in my lifetime I may need maybe 2 or 3 more transplants, and at some point I may have to go back on dialysis, and it's just going to be an ongoing thing because I didn't take care of myself when it counted. If you're suffering with anything like a chronic illness, mental health, especially mental health, the only thing I can say is swallow your pride and reach out. Sometimes people don't want to be judged, or they don't think they're worthy of the help. That is not the case. Like, get the help you want and require, and start living your life. Like, your happiness is paramount above anything. And happiness equals peace. Like, once you have peace, you're winning.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you, Lauren. You're welcome. Also, any charities that you would donate to?
If you are going to want to donate, Diabetes UK, Kidney UK, and Beat.
Beautiful. There we go. Thank you, guys. Stay tuned for more from Lauren.